Buddy Games Spring Awakening, available in select theaters tomorrow and on digital June the 2nd.
Yes.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. Oh, I wish we would have shown your cameo in this thing.
Well, you know what? That's people who've got to go see it. By the way, it's not just my cameo. It's Chris
everybody.
Brockman's cameo, Mike Del Tufo, TJ Jefferson. We're all in it in a fantastic film opening montage. Don't want to spoil too much. You got to see it.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones in it as well. It's very well done.
Thank you.
And we just saw a clip again at a funeral where an urn gets passed around amongst much of the cast like it's a football. So I have to ask. I have to ask this question to start our interview off, Josh Duhamel. What are you most proud of? Your directing, by the way, a very well directed scene.
Thank you.
Or that throw of the urn. That was quite the spiral. Which one are you most proud of?
I think I'm more proud of the throw. I mean, that thing was a little bit bigger than a football, so it was a little bit grip. And I actually had to rifle it a few times for Dylan to catch it.
Yes.
And one of the times I threw it, and it went right through his hands and broke his glasses, cut his nose. I'll never forget him. Like, he looks up. I see blood. He's like, "Am I okay? Am I okay?" And I was like, we got to get you looked at. And so, we're lucky he didn't break a nose.
So we had to call a timeout on filming that day.
Well, for a minute, but he's a gamer, that dude. He jumped right back in.
Kevin Dillon is Kevin Dillon.
He
man.
is such a stud, that dude.
But he needs better hands. Terrible hands. Terrible hands. Come on. Went through.
I got to take some stink off of it when I'm throwing such a short
You
pass.
only know one speed. You can zip it in there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm like the kid from Kentucky, Will Levis.
Will Levis.
Just one speed.
He has a cannon.
Yes.
That scene he was having.
He's not afraid to tell everybody about it.
You're the Will Levis of Buddy Games Spring Awakening. So what does that make Kevin Dillon? Oh, don't do that. We can't play it. We can't do any receivers like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, you played quarterback, right? Back in the day?
A long time ago.
Right?
Mine at State University.
Okay.
Yeah, go Beavers.
So way before Carson Wentz and Trey Lance, there was Josh Duhamel.
They were babies when I was there. Let's see, I played there from 92 to 94.
Okay.
92, 93, 94, 95. Actually.
You were the original North Dakota quarterback that people need to talk about.
There were a few before me, but yes.
I'm sure. So Buddy Games Spring Awakening, you directed this. A hell of a cast, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You put these guys together. It looks like this would have been it just looks on the screen that the shoot itself was similar potentially to the actual film here.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted listen, we're not making high art here. I wanted to make a movie. I wanted to make a movie that I would want to see. I love the Todd Phillips movies. I love the Farrelly Brothers movies. This movie is ridiculous. But it's it had to be reminiscent of my actual buddies who the movie is based on.
Yes,
and I needed guys who felt like that. Who when you watch this, you believe that these guys would ride or die with each other.
So wait a minute, how much of this is based on real
So every year, Rich, we do the buddy games. Me and my buddies have done it for like 25 years.
Right,
and probably even before that, it started with wiffle ball and. And it just sort of as an excuse to get the guys back together. Every third weekend of August, every single year,
yes, we
all get together and for a weekend of ridiculous games.
So you got something that you don't mind revealing from the film that you actually did? Like this is that you've from either of them?
Yeah.
Or,
well, so the story of this one is that after we steal the urn, like you just saw,
yes, we
flee in my helicopter, which I took to the funeral, which people normally do.
Yes.
I told you it was high art. And when we're up in the air, we realize, holy crap, what did we just do? Did we just break the law? Are we going to jail?
Yeah.
And then we're like, no, we're not going to jail, but we got to figure out what we're going to do with his urn. Where are we going to spread his ashes? And we decide we're going to go where Durfee, Dak Shepard's character from the first movie,
yes,
was happiest, where he first fell in love, and that was spring break 1997. And so we decided we're just going to go back to the beach, not knowing that they're right in the middle of spring break. We're just going to go to the beach, have a peaceful sort of goodbye, and we get there, and we're still in our suits from the funeral, and we realize it is right in the middle of it. And of course, we decide we're here, we might as well have a beer. Okay, 2 beers
or 19
and a shot, maybe 2 shots, and then we're going to go home. And so from there, it just goes completely off the rails.
And it's now in theaters coming up this very Friday, select theaters tomorrow, and then on digital June 2nd.
Yeah.
The director and one of the stars of Buddy Game Spring Awakening, Josh Duhamel here on the Rich Eisen Show. And also in this film, James Roday Rodriguez, fellow Viking fan Nick Swartzen is in this program as well.
Yeah, that's how I first met Nick.
What do you mean?
Well, just I think it was a Vikings baseball game or football game or something, or somewhere at some party years, and probably when I first started in this business 23 years ago, I think I met him. And he had his Vikings hat on. That was like the first time we really connected. Right. And we've always stayed in touch since.
So we had Swartzen on. It wasn't the past Vikings postseason. It was maybe 2 or 3 years prior, a few years ago. He came on, and Vikings, I think that was the one where they beat New Orleans, right? That was unfortunate. You can remember the one time that they won in the playoffs with Kirk Cousins, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, so we won the year before with Case Keenum, I believe, was the
so maybe that was it. Maybe that's when it was, because they went on a great run all the way to Philadelphia
and then got our asses kicked.
That is correct.
The following year we beat the Saints again in
Cousins.
New Orleans with Cousins.
Yes, indeed.
Thielen and Rudolph both had amazing catches in that game.
And in overtime.
Yeah. Anytime we beat Sean Payton, I am all about it. Sure. Oh, that dude.
What do you got against him?
Well, I mean, Bountygate against Favre. Says he didn't know anything about it, but he did.
Okay.
And then at the Minneapolis Miracle, I was actually at that game too. And, we were kicking their butts the whole game, and they came back and we're about to win it.
Correct.
And he starts going to the crowd like, oh,
he's doing the skull, mocking
the fans. And then we hit that pass to win the game.
Yes, you did. You know
the
Vikings play the Broncos this year. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Do we?
Yes, you do. You will cross paths with Mr. Payton again. But don't you kind of respect that in a way? Like so many coaches are very corporate. Like they don't do smack.
Listen, I don't mind talking smack. That didn't bother me. The Bountygate really bothered me. That was just dirty pool.
I could understand that.
Yeah, that one, because that was our year. That was our year to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, the reason why I brought up Swartzen, not only because he's in your movie, but I do believe that year he was going to come on in the middle of the playoffs, and he was booked, and he calls me up, and he goes, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, cool. He goes, I got to tell you why. Because he calls me up, and he tells me the reason why is because they won that first week in the playoffs. He had to go back to the same spot in the same bar to sit in the same chair, because if they lost, he would blame it on himself for not being back in the same spot.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, I appreciate you wanting to call and explain to me why you're canceling on the program. Yeah. And I respect it. Yeah. I respect it despite the insanity. That's very
superstitious.
Don't you think? I mean,
yeah. He's a weird bird. He's a weird bird.
Well, that's why you have him in your film as well, right? He's Nick.
Who's Sean Payton?
No, Nick Swartzen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sean Payton.
No, this is Nick
you're talking about Nick Swartzen did this?
Yeah, he called me up. He's like, I can't do it.
Yeah, that sounds, well.
That's what he said.
He's also very social. He's got like a social thing. I think every time we need to go do press for this movie, the last one and this one, he suddenly disappears.
What do you mean? He ghosts on you?
Yes, that's 2 years. Actually, I did one interview with him yesterday, and he was in Florida, and it was the day after his birthday, so it was an interesting.
He was beat
interview.
Up a little bit. He played hurt. He played hurt. Nick played a little hurt.
He did, but I got to say that dude shows up in a big way for these movies. He shows up on days he's not even working just to help punch scenes up.
I love Nick. He's good people, man.
He's one of my best friends.
Buddy Game, Spring Awakening here. Josh Duhamel on the Rich Eisen Show. So it's also, this film is perfectly timed. You're I'm sure completely unaware of this, but Chris Brockman's about to go appear at a charity golf tournament this weekend as a celebrity, and he has been billed as an actor.
Really?
Yes.
I gotta say, man, you did a really nice job in your cameo for the movie. All you guys did.
It's perfectly timed, because when he shows up in the fivesome as the actor celebrity of the group, and they can look at him and say, what have you been in? Hey, in select theaters near you this very weekend, Buddy Game, Spring Awakening.
You know what, Rich?
You're great.
You're like the Steph Curry of sports talk.
Okay, how so?
You just you're not you don't need the limelight. You are the leader.
I share the
clearly.
basketball.
You've got the biggest desk, but you also have these. You also have these amazing guys that you let shine.
I do.
You know,
And I can-
just like Steph Curry.
And I could still make the big shot when needed. Right?
Exactly.
That's pretty much too.
Let's talk. Can we talk about your 40 really quick?
Please. Sure. What
I
do
was
you-
addicted. I was addicted to you over the draft. I'm a big
Thank you.
draft junkie.
Thank you.
And every year I watch the 40-yard dash in the suit. That's become a real thing.
It is.
I mean, look at the logo. It's basically Jordan's logo.
That is it. That is me running the fort. And the funny thing is that when they first came up with the logo of the show, the idea of it, and put it in front of me saying, "What do you think?" About now 9 years ago, the silhouette was too accurate to my form, where the right leg was kicked out like awkwardly, and I watched them Photoshop it into a much more athletic
Yes,
pose.
but you've worked on your form. I can tell. You actually go out and do sprints well in advance of that race. Come on, let's be honest.
I don't want to ruin the magic. I don't want to show you the man behind
Dude,
the curtain.
you were just like bam, bam, bam. What was your 40 time? Do we know?
6:24.
That's pretty good in a full suit and
By the way,
dress
at age
shoes.
53,
53.
on top at the
You're
Rose Bowl.
still light on your feet. You know, you still got some bounce.
Bless
It's
you,
good.
sir. I appreciate you saying that. I don't know.
Mine would not look like that. I'll tell you that right
Come
now. It
on.
would not.
What do you mean?
I just,
What do you-
I just,
Come on. What would
I
you
just,
like if you ran a 40
my
right
legs
now?
don't have the same bounce they used to.
They don't. I have a feeling you could do 6. You'd run a 6.
I don't know. We'll see. Probably not in a suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the. By the way, that is also a very important note to
Do you have a looser fitting suit?
I don't
for that particular race.
No, it's perfectly tailored. And I think fast. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You
I just
do.
try to be fast, but I don't train. I don't train at all.
I don't
which
believe
upsets
it.
Susie.
I don't believe it.
It upsets my wife significantly. That I do not train. I don't, but I appreciate you
Are
saying
you going to be
it.
doing that? You're going to be doing that till you're 75
No,
years old.
I don't think so.
Come on,
I don't know.
man.
Next year's 20, and I'm thinking of dropping the mic after that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you know.
Keep doing it.
All right.
As long as you don't pull something or break
If
something.
you're asking.
Can't we just do a charity golf tournament?
No.
Yeah, let's do it.
By the way, if you want to, we run it at the Rose Bowl every year. You want to run it next year?
What, the 40?
Yeah.
I'll come out and run that with you.
I'm literally giving you 11 months of a heads up.
Okay. I'll start training.
Yeah.
I will start training.
There you go. Do it.
Do I have to wear a suit?
No. You run
I will if you need me to.
I'd like you to run in a full Vikings uniform.
Okay.
What'd you think of their draft?
I think they did a good job.
Nobody knows.
I mean, it's hard to say.
It's totally-
Addison seems really talented.
We had him here, 3 weeks before the draft? You wanted him in New England, Chris.
I did.
You
wanted a
him in the
receiver.
worst way.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be good.
Yes, I think, and he emulates Diggs, doesn't he? I think that's what he.
Yeah.
So you kind of
I mean, I wasn't sure that was our biggest need,
right.
considering we've got really good receivers and tight ends already. But
Defensively is probably what you were
defensively
thinking
is
about.
what I was thinking because we were so porous last year.
Right.
But I trust O'Connell. I think that those guys have a good.
I do like him.
Good handle on what this team needs. I like. What do you think about Jaron Hall from BYU?
Again, it's just another one where sure I've heard about him, and it's not like I'm an all 22 tape head, but and everyone thinks he's very talented. You have no idea.
Yeah.
We have zero idea.
How these
so
kids
are going to pan out.
So much of it comes down to the program that they're in, how
Yes.
well they develop within that, and how they can translate whatever abilities they have to this next level. Because some really can, and some of them kind of buckle.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting to see how he develops.
Before I let you go, can I get a good James Caan story out of you from back in the day?
Where do
on
I
the set of
begin? I got to
Vegas?
keep this PG though, right?
13,
Okay,
PG-13,
PG-13.
Cusp of R.
All right.
A little bit more, a little bit less blue than Buddy Games' Spring Awakening.
Yes.
if you don't mind.
I mean, there's so many. I just dearly love that dude. He was just such a great mentor to me. He'd be the first one to say, "Hey, kid, do as I do as I say, don't do as I did."
Mm-hmm.
I remember there's a few of them, but this is the one that comes to the top of my head. Is
Sure.
that we were talking about movies and what our favorite movies were, and I said The Godfather, and I was talking about what I loved about it, and I asked him, "Have you ever met Brando?" He's like, kidding me? I was Sonny, you dipshit.
So hold on a second.
I was like, oh yeah,
Sorry.
you were in that movie. You were in that movie. Oh God,
It slipped your mind that he was in The Godfather?
I didn't connect the two at the time. Of course, I knew he was Sonny Corleone in the movie,
Right.
But I didn't connect it when I was talking about Brando and The Godfather for whatever reason.
How do you come back from that with James?
I don't
Caan?
think he ever fully regained any respect from me after that.
But I can understand, like, if you're around him personally, he's just Jimmy Caan. I mean, we had him on the show multiple times.
Yeah.
I've been to his charity golf tournament multiple times
Yeah,
before
so I
he
went
passed.
into that too, yeah.
And you know, obviously he's the iconic James Caan.
Well,
but
he's that guy who, for better or worse, he was the most affable dude you could ever meet. He would talk to everybody on set. He always had a story. But one of his downfalls, in a way, was that when things were too copacetic, when things were too nice and peaceful, it made him antsy, and he would figure out something you'd stir the pot.
he was a mixer.
Yeah, he needed drama around him in order to like really feel like he was alive.
But to be around him, man, on a TV show set like that.
He would do things like, and I was green. I'd only been on a soap opera for 3 years before that, so I was still very green.
Yeah.
And I remember we'd do a scene, and I think like, I'm doing the dance with Jimmy Caan right now. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna act my balls off right now. We'd do the scene. He'd look at me and go, "Hey kid, come here for a minute." And I was like, "Oh no, here we go." Every time he said, "Hey kid, come here for a minute," I knew that he had a full ledger of notes that he wanted to walk me through. But you know what? At the time, I was like, it was uncomfortable because he was literally giving me notes after a scene for the next take, and thank God he did, because it made me a better actor. You know, he really did take the time to teach me what he knew.
A blessing.
Yeah,
Pretty cool, man.
truly.
Check out Buddy Games Spring Awakening, available in select theaters again tomorrow and on digital June the 2nd. You will enjoy the works of Josh Duhamel and Kevin Dillon, Nick Swardson, and Chris Brockman, also an actor.
Yes.
Just in time for him to show off his acting credits. I went plural.
Thank you.
Okay. It's acting credits for
one thing on
the
his
charity
IMDb.
golf outing. There you go. Very good. Thanks for coming on,
Hey,
brother.
thanks for having me.
You're the best. Thanks
You
for
guys
coming
are the
in.
best. Thanks.
At Josh Duhamel on both Twitter and Instagram. Check it all out. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.